Hello, welcome to LMU Community TV News. I'm Ashley Hurley. Thank you for joining us. If you plan to do outdoor burning, the Tennessee Department of Agriculture Division of Forestry wants to remind citizens that you will need a permit through May 15th. The winter storms wreaked havoc across the state, bringing down limbs and trees, and burning is one of the best ways for landowners to clean up the debris. If you are planning to burn a pile that is smaller than 8 feet by 8 feet, you can obtain a permit by visiting burnsafetn.org. For larger sizes, you will need to obtain a permit by calling Claiborne County's local division at 423-869-8275 Monday through Friday from 8 in the morning through 4:30 that afternoon. Burn permits are free, and residents should also check with their city and county government for any local restrictions. Once you have obtained a burn permit, remember these tips. Develop a bare soil perimeter around the fire. Notify neighbors and local fire departments in advance. Have a leaf rake and access to water for fire control, and be aware that wind can blow the fire in the wrong direction. Stay with the fire until it is extinguished. It is illegal to leave an open fire unattended. The Tennessee Department of Agriculture Division of Forestry works to conserve and protect and enhance forests that cover half the state and provide jobs, timber, clean water, wildlife habitat, and recreation. To find out more, visit www.tn.gov/agriculture/forestry for more information. Administrative changes are taking place within Lincoln Memorial University's John J. Duncan Jr. School of Law. Interim Dean Ferrum Williams stepped down effective March 15th, and Associate Professor of Law Matthew Line has been named the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs and will also serve as Acting Dean throughout the search process for a permanent dean. As Acting Dean, Line will report to LMU Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs Clayton Hess, and will also lead LMU's DSAL's daily operations, providing an easy transition of leadership when the new dean is appointed. Line first joined LMU DSAL as an adjunct professor in 2009 and became a full-time faculty member in 2011. He has chaired the law school's faculty recruitment committee, assisted with the accreditation efforts, and served as advisor to the Lincoln Memorial University Law Review. Line is a member of the Tennessee Bar and will continue to teach business law courses as an associate professor of law. Since the inaugural class graduated in May 2013, 91% of LMU DSAL's alumni have passed the bar exam. On the most recent administration of the bar, LMU DSAL grads posted a 77.14% pass rate for the first-time takers, 5 percentage points higher than the average for all first-time takers from all schools nationally. Coming up on April 17th and 18th, the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum will host Lincoln scholars from around the country for the 2015 Civil War Symposium here on the main campus. The symposium is titled War in the Mountains 4: Religion, Death, and Martyrdom and the Civil War. The symposium will address issues facing the nation at the end of the Civil War. Featured speakers for the event will each address portions of this experience from their own studies of the Civil War casualties or the faith used by President Lincoln, the soldiers, and civilians to understand the losses. Director of the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum, Thomas Mackey, will open the program in the Hamilton Math and Science Building here on the main campus. The symposium is supported by the Dr. Robert L. Kincaid Endowed Research Center. The symposium is free and open to the public. Registration, though, is required, and for more information and to register, you can contact Program and Tourism Director Carol Campbell at 423-869-6439. A piece of Lincoln Memorial University history came down last Friday. The art building known as Bluebird was demolished to make way for additional parking behind LP Hall. Bluebird was primarily used by the art department and was home to several art classes over the years. Once the Center for the Arts was created in Cumberland Gap, art classes were moved to the Gap and Bluebird was used as storage for the art department. The demolition took place last Friday afternoon, and a date for the construction of the parking lots has not yet been set. Now, coming up after the break, we have information on an upcoming career fair, and students and alumni are invited. So stay tuned, we have that and more.
Join the Vive broadband TV revolution. Vive gives you the freedom to choose with loads of new channels like Up TV, The Hub, The Blaze, and Cubo. Vive's Watch TV Everywhere feature gives you the freedom to watch participating channels just about anywhere, anytime, on any device. And Vive broadband speed gives you the freedom to power internet TV services like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and Google Chromecast. Join the TV revolution at vivebroadband.com.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Last Monday, the Lincoln Memorial University Career Center held its annual Spring Career Fair. The Career Fair included LMU graduate programs as well as many local and nationwide recruiters for businesses. To tell us more about the Career Fair, we spoke with Director of Career Services, Dr. Ted Booth.
LMU Spring Job and Career Fair this year was on March the 23rd from 3 to 6 p.m. We had 12 employers and 12 graduate schools, mostly from our own programs, but from other schools as well. And I feel like it was one of the most successful ones we've ever had on LMU's campus. We had good student participation. There was lots of buzz. We had people connect to employers, and many employers left telling me that they had found some really good prospects. Well, the career fair is kind of the wave of the future when it comes to hiring folks. Lots of times people will submit resumes online, and lots of resumes get submitted. But when you come to a career fair, you get to meet a person. You get to shake their hand, look them in the eye, and hand them a resume and make a connection. And oftentimes, employers are much more willing to hire out of a career fair than online. LMU students and alumni are able to participate in the Interstate Career Fair, which is held on ETSU's campus in the Millennium Center on March the 30th. We have, on April the 6th, we're bringing in 2 employers to do recruiting for internships, and the Knoxville Area Career Fair is April the 9th at the Knoxville Expo Center, and we'll be participating in that with about 11 different area schools. Well, it's very important because what it does is when it brings them to campus, almost everybody says immediately, oh my gosh, what a beautiful campus, I've never been here, I didn't know about it. And then they meet our students, and I feel our students are very competent and have high quality and character, and usually if they hire an LMU student or do an internship with an LMU student, they want to come back and get more LMU students.
Right. LMU students and alumni are invited to the Knoxville Area Career Fair 2015 that will be held on Thursday, April 9th at the Knoxville Expo Center from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You can find out more information on that by visiting the Lincoln Memorial University homepage. Last Wednesday, Lincoln Memorial University hosted a wellness fair that featured exhibits, speakers, and demonstrations. We also visited the wellness fair and talked to those participating. Here's what they had to say.
This is sponsored for the LMU community. We have people from the community representing both insurance, we've got medication represented, all of the sorts of services that LMU have. Plus we have representatives here from the medical school. They're first-year medical students. We're doing blood pressures, glucose sticks, BMI, which is a ratio of your height to your weight. Try to get an overall indication of your ability for whether you're obese or about the right weight to height and so forth. And it's just letting people know about their health in general. And if in fact they want to follow up, we of course will follow up with our clinic. But the idea is to show all of the services that LMU has for your health. And that's something that we feel it's important. Everybody should be healthy, and that's one of the missions of the school.
On campus, we initiated an initiative a few years ago called Healthy LMU and You, and this is just an outgrowth from that initiative. It's our wellness fair to emphasize the areas of wellness, educate our faculty, staff, and students, and move in the direction of creating a better awareness for health and wellness on our campus. What we did, we contacted the different providers and vendors who touch the wellness area. So we have representatives from our human resources area with our insurance, different aspects of our insurance. We have food. If you have food, it'll bring them. And so we have some nutritional information from the local IGA, from the subway, represented here. We also have some LMU initiatives. Our offices, we have a counseling office represented. We have our wellness center represented. We just completed an initiative, the Walk to Gettysburg initiative, which was very, very successful. Several years ago, there was a discussion about the paradigm that we have in this area. We're closely linked to tobacco. We're right in the heart of that area. And so we're trying to think of what we could do to improve the quality of life, improve the health. And it's a win-win situation. If we can improve the health of our faculty, staff, and students, they're more successful, they have a better life, they enjoy life more. But on the other side of that, they're more productive and they do better in class, and our employees are able to perform their jobs more successfully. And then after work, they're not exhausted. They're able to enjoy their evenings. They're able to enjoy the weekends. And that's what our goal is.
To find out more about the LMU Health Initiative, you can go to the homepage at www.lmunet.edu. Coming up on Sunday, April 12th, the Pediatric Medicine Club at the DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine will host its annual Kids Health Fair. The Kids Health Fair will take place from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock at the Harrogate City Park, and the community is invited to attend. The event is open to the public and free to attend. This year, the Kids Health Fair will be pirate-themed, and children are invited to come dressed up as a pirate. There will be games and fun activities that will include a treasure hunt, walk the plank, pin the hook on the pirate, and face painting. Keeping in line with health and medicine, LMU DCOM students will be providing healthy snacks and will showcase what's in the doctor's bag, giving children and their families the opportunity to learn what the tools are that are in a doctor's bag. Parents, don't forget to bring your child's immunization records to be entered into a raffle for great prizes from local establishments. The Lincoln Memorial University Share Club will be hosting a Toss for a Cure Pink Out Cornhole Tournament to benefit breast cancer research on April 11th. The tournament will begin at 2 o'clock in the Mary Marsh Gymnasium right here on campus. The entry fee will be $10 per team, and teams of all ages are encouraged to participate. Registration for the Cornhole Tournament will begin at 12:45 and will end at 1:45. Any team not registered by 1:45 will not be able to participate. T-shirts and pink wristbands will be available for pre-order until April 1st. Admission is free for all ages, and for more information or to pre-order shirts or bracelets, email lmushare15@gmail.com or call or text 423-526-4472 or 423-300-4395. LMU baseball and softball were both on the road over the weekend, and coming up after the break, Adam Haley gives you the highlights and scores, so be sure you keep it right here.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words. Playing world music. What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back. The LMU baseball team spent the weekend in Brevard, North Carolina, taking on the Tornadoes of Brevard College. Coming in off a doubleheader loss to Alabama Huntsville, the Rail Splitters were looking for a good turnout, and early on the Saturday doubleheader, it looked like they would get the result. LMU jumped out to a 2-0 lead after a 2-run fifth inning. Brevard kept it close with a run in the sixth and one in the eighth, but the Rail Splitters would blow open the game with a 7-run ninth to win 12-2. Brandon Jean picked up the win, going 7 innings, giving up 1 earned run, 2 walks, and striking out 10. Game 2 of the double dip, both teams showcased their defensive skill. Brevard got on the board in the third on a 3 RBI double by Christian Dix. LMU's Scott Miller and Jonathan Lowe each got an RBI in the sixth, but it wouldn't be enough as Brevard won 3-2. Grant Painter took the loss, going 5 innings, giving up the 3 earned runs and only striking out 2. On Sunday, the Rail Splitters battled the Tornadoes in the rubber match, and the term battle doesn't do this game justice. The two went back and forth over 9 innings. LMU tied the game up in the top of the 8th on a throwing error and a fielding error by Brevard, but it was the Tornadoes who had the last laugh. Josh Hall hit an RBI single, and Hunter Donaldson scored on a throwing error to lift the Tornadoes to a 7-5 win. Wes Todd took the loss for LMU, going 7 1/3 innings, allowing 6 earned runs and striking out 3. Now, after a makeup game with Tusculum earlier in the week, the LMU baseball team will be in Bristol, Tennessee to go around with a different tornado, this time King University. That one's on Wednesday afternoon. Then they'll host Mars Hill University on Friday and Saturday of this week. The LMU softball team spent the weekend in the Palmetto State with the ladies playing 4 games in 2 days. On Saturday, they were in Newberry, South Carolina to face conference foe Newberry. The Wolves struck quickly with 1 run in the second and 3 1/3 inning on their way to a 9-1 win in Game 1. LMU pitcher Samantha Smith only lasted 2 2/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs and only striking out 1. LMU started out Game 2 better, scoring 2 runs, first on an RBI sac fly by Meredith Johnson and then on an RBI single by Ashley Hunter. Newberry would plate 1 run in the first, second, and fourth innings to take the lead. The Lady Rail Splitters would respond and tie it up in the 6th on a Jennifer Moose RBI single, but the Wolves completed the sweep on a walk-off RBI single by Maud McCurry to give Newberry the 4-3 win. On Sunday, the ladies traveled to Greenwood, South Carolina to face non-conference opponent Lander. Both teams went into the 4th inning scoreless until LMU's Amanda Snow scored on a wild pitch and Lander's Casey Kent scored on a Rachel Webster RBI single. LMU took the lead on a 3-run home run by Ashley Hunter in the 6th, but it was not enough as Lander would score in the bottom of the 6th and again in the bottom of the 7th to beat LMU 5-4. The Lady Rail Splitters went into the final game of the weekend, needing a win to avoid a winless weekend, and early on, Lander looked like they would not be favorable to LMU. The Bearcats clawed their way to a 2-0 lead in the first inning, but then the Lady Rail Splitters started sending the ball out of the yard. Savannah Couch, Jennifer Moose, and Teddy Collins each hit a home run, with Couch's being a 3-run shot in the fourth, while Moose and Collins added theirs in the sixth to push LMU to the 8-3 win. LMU will be on the road on Wednesday in Jefferson City to face Carson Newman before returning home on Friday to face Lynn Orion and again Saturday against Queens. The game on Saturday will also be Military Appreciation Day. Now, the LMU women's lacrosse team also spent this past weekend in the Palmetto State in Newberry, South Carolina. Coming off their first win in school history over Pikeville earlier in the week, the ladies had more confidence and were looking to win their first road game in their first conference matchup. However, the Wolves were ready for the challenge as they scored the first 6 goals of the game in the first 10 minutes, on the way to a 15-1 halftime lead that would turn into a 17-4 win. Breasia James scored all 4 goals for LMU in the loss. They'll be back at home on Wednesday to face UVA Wise before finishing up the SAC schedule on Saturday at Brevard. The LMU men were also on the road this past weekend, but traveled to the other Carolina, that one being at Mars Hill University. The men were also coming off a win from earlier in the week, and they were looking for their first road win and conference win of the young program's history. The Lions, however, were having none of it as they jumped out quickly with 3 goals in the first and 3 more in the second quarter, and Mars Hill would lead 6-2 at halftime. LMU would score 2 of the third quarter to trim the deficit to 3, but Mars Hill would answer, scoring 9 more times in the 16-7 defeat of the Rail Splitters. The men's lacrosse team will be back at home on Wednesday afternoon to face North Greenville, and they will also finish up their South Atlantic Conference schedule on Saturday at Brevard. Now, the NCAA Division I Final Four is set, and 3 of the number 1 seeds have made their way to Indianapolis, along with a surprise 7th seed. On Saturday, April 4th, the first Final Four matchup will pit the 7th seed from the East, Michigan State, against the top seed from the South region, Duke. Tip-off for the first national semifinal is set for 6:09 p.m. Game 2 will have the top seed from the West, Wisconsin, face the top seed from the Midwest, the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky is now 38-0 on the season and could become the first team in NCAA history to complete a season 40-0 and be the national champs. They would be the first team since the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers to complete a perfect season. Tip-off for the Badgers and Wildcats is set for approximately 8:49 p.m. Both those games will be televised by TBS. Now, that's all for sports. However, stay tuned. Joseph Lewis will have everything you need to know about the box office from last week when we return.
Dad's home!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic, prove beautiful. don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hello, I'm Joseph Lewis, bringing you all the latest information in the world of movies. Tops at the box office this weekend were led by DreamWorks Animation's alien invasion tale Home, kicking things off with an impressive $54 million and making for the studio's biggest opening in several years. Adult audiences who didn't flock to Home chose instead to Get Hard, allowing the Will Ferrell-Kevin Hart buddy comedy to start its run at number 2 with $34 million. And rounding out the top 3 was last week's winner, Insurgent, drawing another $22 million, while also experiencing a nearly 60% drop in the process. Meanwhile, the Weinstein Company's It Follows continued to perform well following its expansion, pulling in another $4 million. And in the weeks to come, expect to hear more about Noah Baumbach's Ben Stiller starring dramedy While We're Young, which had an excellent first weekend in limited release, taking in $60,000 at each one of its 4 screens. The coming weekend will certainly be dominated by Furious 7, the latest installment in the highly successful action franchise that also marks the final film appearance of actor Paul Walker. Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, and the rest of the crew are all set to return, alongside hotly anticipated franchise newcomers Jason Statham and Kurt Russell. Furious 7 opens this Friday, April 3rd, and stands as the lone major release over the holiday. In review this week is Get Hard, in which Will Ferrell plays pampered businessman James King, whose cushy existence gets shaken up after he is wrongfully accused of tax evasion. Faced with a lengthy and intimidating prison sentence, he turns to his car washer of all people, Kevin Hart's Darnell Lewis, to give him a masterclass in survival. The marketing for Get Hard has done a good job of preparing viewers for its lowbrow brand of comedy, though its jokes go to far raunchier places than the typical Will Ferrell outing. The story's commentary on race and classism is fairly daring for such a mainstream movie, though it's also nothing that the similarly themed Trading Places didn't do better and funnier more than 30 years ago. Some of the humor works due simply to the energy of the actors, and it's especially nice to see Hart giving a more restrained, grounded performance than is his norm, but the script feels lazy and tends to rely mostly on raised voices and shock moments in order to generate laughs. It's also fairly predictable, though that wouldn't have been as much of a problem if the film had been funnier. Although it's hardly the worst Will Ferrell vehicle, it seems primed to go in one ear and out the other as far as audiences are concerned, containing little of the endearing character quirks or quotable dialogue that's made Anchorman such an enduring modern classic. Though fans of the 2 leads may want to check it out, Get Hard seems like a Redbox rental at best. Faring much better on the big screen is It Follows, the new independent horror film from David Robert Mitchell that has been generating non-stop positive word of mouth from critics and festival audiences, and rightfully so. A streamlined supernatural riff on the genre's classic have sex and you die trope, It Follows plays with familiar story beats in creative ways, tracking a group of teenagers who find themselves haunted by an unstoppable, malevolent entity that can only appear after one has engaged in a sexual experience. With such a terrific concept, there are times during the film when one hopes for more rules or exposition for this evil force, though the number of thrilling sequences in It Follows makes this a minor issue. Mitchell's atmospheric direction takes most of its cues from John Carpenter's Halloween and other films of that ilk, creating a highly suspenseful experience that works both as homage and as its own unique beast. There are also numerous welcome moments of meta-humor that add to the film's self-aware nature, and young actors Micah Monroe and Keir Gilchrist each do excellent work as the central teens. A few weak special effects and lapses in story logic do hold It Follows back a bit, and it features somewhat of an inconclusive ending due simply to the nature of its concept, but on the whole, it's a tense and very entertaining entry into this beloved genre. That's all for this week in the world of movies. I'm Joseph Lewis.
And that is going to do it for this week's LMU Tri-State News. Join us next week for everyone behind the scenes. I'm Ashley Hurley.